Okay, I'm going to make an A4 backing paper. I click on New, and from my presets I'm going to select A4. If you don't have A4 in your presets, you can do 210 by 297 millimeters and resolution 300. Okay, whenever I have a A4 piece of paper on the screen, I always enlarge it. I zoom in. I do this by holding your control key and then clicking on the plus button twice. This will give you a rough idea of what your sheet's going to look like when it's printed, because it's almost the same width as a A4 sheet of paper. Okay, now this is the image that I'm going to use. I'm just going to tweak the colours a little bit quickly before I do it. I'm holding the shift key down while I'm doing that, and then I've just selected and press grow, and now I've done Control U, now if I just select one of these squares and then select similar, it's more or less grab the whole of that inside of that image. I'm just zooming in there, Control plus. Now continue to click while holding my shift key until I've selected all of it. Now I'm going to zoom back out. Now click Control U to open the Hue and Saturation box. Now I'm going to lighten that right up and change the colour to a yellow. Okay, now I'm going to lighten the green up a little bit, so I'm going to select similar, right click and then press similar. And now all the time I'm clicking on the bits that are not selected, I've got the shift key held down. And just to be sure, I'm going to right click and press grow. Now I'm clicking on Control U to open the Hue and Saturation box. Now I'm going to lighten that up and put some more colour in it. Okay, now I'm going to open a blank document, change it to pixels, and we want 500 by 500 by 300. Okay, now resize this image. We're going to take that down to about 300. You can see the proportions. You need to make sure that the constraint proportions and the scale styles are both ticked so that it does it all in proportion. Oops, hang on, I didn't actually do that. I'm going to take it down to 300. And we'll see how big that is on the print. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, now we're going to turn the back layer off. And now we're going to edit, define pattern. And we're going to call this one a flower. Okay, now select layer, new fill, pattern, and then select OK. Okay, now your sheet is filled with the pattern. You can make that bigger or smaller, but for now we're going to keep it at 100%. Okay, now I need to do another layer of the same flowers, so I can either do the same process by clicking layer, new fill, pattern, OK, and then you can move that across because it'll be on top of the one that's there, and press OK. But I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to show you a quick way. So if I want the same layer again, I just right click on the layer in the right hand side and go duplicate layer and then say OK. Okay, now we're going to zoom out by pressing Control and minus, just so we can see what the paper looks like. We can move that around. Okay, now I'm going to zoom back in again by pressing Control and plus. Now we need to rasterize the layers. We do this by right clicking on the layers in the right hand side and going rasterize layer. Do that for both layers. Okay, now we need to add a colour to the background, so you can do this by either picking a colour in the back here, or if you double click here it opens up the colour picker. I've chose a green there which looks quite nice, so I'm just going to select the paint bucket which is here. Now this may not be selected, you may have the gradient tool showing, so if that's showing like that, then all you need to do is click it and go to paint bucket, and you make sure you've highlighted the background, and then you just drop the bucket in there. Okay, now that's actually quite a nice colour, but I'm going to go back one, edit, step backwards, because I'm going to show you another way to do it. I'm going to turn the background layer into an actual layer by double clicking on it and pressing OK. Now what this means is, it means we can actually work with this layer. So now I'm going to double click on this layer again, and that will open up the layer styles. I need the colour overlay, so I'm going to click on that. Now automatically that's given me red, but I'm going to click on the green that we had. Move that over there so you can see what we're doing. And now you can basically just click any colour that you want. You can go all the way through your colour palette and you can choose any colour. What I normally do is I usually pick a colour from the actual image. On this occasion I actually like the green we had, so I think we're going to stick with that, maybe a bit lighter. And that's done. And now I'm going to add another layer underneath the flowers. Layer, new fill, pattern, OK, and then I'm going to find the layer that I want, which I know where mine is, so that's the layer I want. Now you can see that that's blue, so we're going to change that, but we need to rasterize the layer first. So we right click on the layer and go rasterize. Now we can double click on that layer, go colour overlay, and then you should use the colour picker to pick out colours. Do the purple or the green. I'm going to do the green. And there we go.